Yeah, buddy, here we go. Week 9 is starting up. We got waiver wires to talk about, and of course, all of the madness that happened in Week 8. This is Walking the Wire on Too Much Fantasy Football. What's happening, everybody? This is Walking the Wire on Too Much Fantasy Football. We're here live on the Fantasy Football Advice Network, whether on YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. We thank you. It's me. I thank you for being here. We're going to have a great time. We got the next hour loaded up, whether it be questions, whether it be trades, whether it be reactions, waiver wires, all of the great stuff. I'm so excited to be here. The chat's already filling up a bit here. Tyler coming at it. Would you drop to make room for a kicker? Who would you drop? Jordan Mason or Rachaad White rest of season? Ooh, to make room for a kicker. Honestly, it might be Jordan Mason at this point. Rachaad White, I haven't got any official news on Bucky Irving if it's going to be, when we're actually going to see him back. But Rachaad White's been so much more usable than Jordan Mason. And it looks like Aaron Jones, they're going to continue to get him works in there. So, I like Rachaad White rest of season over Jordan Mason. I mean, Jordan Mason might have more usable weeks going forward, but I think Rachaad White will have the bigger usable weeks that you're going to have. You know, the ones where you're plugging him in as an RB2. Jordan Mason's probably just going to be nothing more than a flex going forward. What's happening, Matthiason's jumping in the chat. How you doing, buddy? Walking on water with Gadsden, abso-freaking-lutely, man. Absolutely. He's money, man. He is absolute money. It's continuing. It's been great. I have him in a lot of spaces right now. So I actually ended up trading him for George Kittle just a couple days ago. The love is real for Gadsden. I'm here for it, but I also have way too much Keenan Allen, so I'm trying not to double up on my Chargers there. Next question is kind of as well there. Tyler, why are we dropping a kicker? I'm kind of with him. I get it. My week, make this argument every week with my wife. I was like, I get you got the number 4 kicker and you don't want to drop him because of his bye week, but at the same time, it's there. Bryce, good afternoon. Just traded Chase Brown for Pollard and Nico. Nico's been one of the hardest ones that we've seen this season. Like they don't have enough time to get it done over there. He doesn't. CJ Stroud doesn't have enough time to get the ball deep to see these amazing big plays from Nico. And Pollard seems to be losing his job a little bit. If you needed 2 spots, I totally get that thing. But Chase Brown, he's got one of the best seasons or best schedules rest of the season. Albert, loyal as always here. How we doing today, man? What's happening? Appreciate you hanging out. Sorry for your loss. Hey. You know what? I can't have Gadsden everywhere. Can't have him everywhere. I like to spread around the pod a little bit. So, I'm not hating it yet, but there's no reason Gadsden couldn't be top 3, top 5 tight end rest of the season. He definitely has made his motion felt out there. It's been great. Bryce, wide receivers are now Jefferson, London, and Nico. Now trading Debo for Warren. So that kind of encapsulates. That's a nice cleanup there. Jefferson, London, Nico. You've got, going into the season, that's 3 top 10, top 12 consensus wide receivers there. Trading away Debo for Warren. I like the running back fill. So now what you have, essentially you're trading Debo and Chase Brown for Pollard, Nico, and Warren. That I like a little bit better. That works pretty well. Love that. Hey, what's happening? OGQ back in here. I haven't seen you a bit, man. Good to have you in here. Half point PPR. We've got May Lamar. Love that. Actually, might give you a hard time trying to figure out who to start each week. We've got Amon-Ra, Nico, Rome, Keenan, QJ, and Godwin. Running backs are Kyron, Chuba, Judkins, and then tight end we've got Laporta, Pitts. Should I trade Lamar for Javonte Williams or any other running back? Yeah, I would. I'm cool with May or Lamar rest of the season. May, I believe, does have the easiest schedule remaining for as far as an entire team. The Patriots do, but Lamar, they gotta play. They gotta play for some big ones. They gotta go for it. They have to continue winning to make sure they keep the playoffs. So I like it. I definitely split the 2 up. It's kind of my issue. I picked up May in a lot of my drafts late. Drafted quarterback a little before that, so he's been been trying to split him. I like May. I'm riding it hot. It's looking good. But yeah, if you can add a little running back depth there, Kyron, Shuba, Judkins. Kyron's been disappointing if you want to look at it like more RB2, high-end RB2 rather than the low RB1 that you really wanted. But if you're going to back that with some Chuba, some Judkins, and then, of course, like Javonte Williams, Javonte, it's going to keep rolling, man. The haters were real. I was skeptical coming into the season, but, I mean, the draft price was so enticing you had to. So I think he's kind of a trade for target. Also, what's good? Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Got enough winning teams that I haven't completely fallen apart this fantasy season. Season's been a roller coaster. Started 3-0. Now I'm 4-4. Yeah, it's a nice little skid there. But injuries will do that to you. As long as you're vigilant on the waiver wire, making a few trades here and there, that's usually a good bounce back. 4-4. It's looking great for a playoff push for you. But folks, yeah, we're going to load it up. Any trade questions, reactions? I mean, waiver wire talk, of course, is going to be the hot topic, but it's not the biggest waiver wire. We got a couple big names, but not really deep. Bam Knight worth the priority. Waiver, how much fab? Oh, man. So I guess it's at this point, we study Michael Carter gets cut. So now Bam Knight should be the guy until Trey Benson comes back. We're still waiting on word on exactly when that's going to happen. Cardinals play this week, Monday night against the Cowboys. I'll see if we can find anything on him, but I don't know. I mean, waiver priority number 1, I think I do it. But as far as, like, fab, I can't see myself dropping more than, like, 20%. It's all going to be depending on, like, how badly you need a running back, what kind of filling you need there. But, yeah, here, what kind of Trey Benson report we got here. Could be a sneaky waiver wire stash. What do you mean waiver wire stash? Who's dropping Trey Benson? Could be at least one more game before potential return. That sounds good. I like that. So yeah, if you're only getting one solid game from Bam Knight, yeah, I wouldn't go wild as far as the fab, 20-ish%. But the unfortunate part is how much is he going to be involved when Trey Benson comes back? That's where the real worry could present itself. Would you try to get Hunter Henry for another tight end for when Gadsden has a bye? I mean, yeah, I'd love to be able to, flex Hunter Henry in there for the bye week. But, like, as far as looking for that potential tight end, I'm willing to take the loss. Not necessarily the loss, but just I'll roll the dice with whatever streamer I have. I don't really look to backfill a second tight end necessarily. Gadsden, next 3 weeks, we got Tennessee, Pittsburgh, and then Jacksonville before the bye week. So you got a few weeks. Take some time. Bye weeks are going to continue to keep happening these next couple. Somebody might drop something good. So I wouldn't rush for Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry's like, he's in that top tier of streamers for me, but there's always sexier picks. There's always something better that happens. Like this past week, I know he got in the end zone, but I believe that was his only catch on the week. Drake May's just doing too good a job of spreading the ball around, and it's unfortunately hitting most of his pieces. We don't really know who to. Yeah, he had one target, one catch, 7 yards, and a touchdown. So that'd be a decent fill-in for you. But I think you might be able to find something. Hold tight. Your league mates are gonna start freaking out if somebody drops someone. So yeah, I wouldn't stress it too much. RGQ. May's been money. Schedule's light. Lamar sometimes is a baby. Yeah, I wouldn't completely disagree with that. Like I said, Lamar's going to be playing for something. They're really trying to right the ship, set at 2-5, trying to make sure that they can come back and get themselves a playoff berth. But May, right there with you, man. May's been absolute money. I love that. Oh, man, all this Javonte talk already. Would you trade Javonte Williams for Flowers and Genty? Yeah, probably would. Usually I like to take the one in a 1-for-2 trade. You're getting the better player. Javonte's been great. Genty's been almost great. We usually see that ramp up in the second half of the year, so maybe we get that from Genty. But Flowers has kind of been a buy low player for me. Like I said, the Ravens are going to have to score. They're going to have to do it often. And I think Flowers is the most consistent piece they have on that team. So if you're needing, spots in both positions, go ahead, pull the trigger. Javonte Williams owner has Goff at QB. Lamar seems, yeah. I mean, what does Goff have? 1 good week, maybe 2 good weeks. Goff has not been the home guy that we've been looking for. He is playing home this week, but going back the last several weeks, QB 21, 18, 13, 22, 23. Goff owner, if that is his only QB, they're probably looking to patch that with another hole, so Lamar would be enticing for him. So yeah, see if you can get it done. I bet they're hurt. I imagine their schedule isn't above 500. Cardinals running game is a rough start. It's like RB5 or 6. Yeah. That's kind of the hard part at this point with them. I'm hoping we get a little magic there. I have been able to acquire Trey Benson in a couple of leagues, so maybe that gets this little spark as he comes back off the IR. Worry about that on bye weeks. Absolutely. There we go. That's what we're looking at. Chargers has 3 more games before a bye. Yeah, right there. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. You've probably got other areas you got to keep focus on. If you've got Gadsden, even if you put up a dud on that week, you're still going to have him rest of season, and I like that. Drake May. That's a stud name right there. Hell of a nickname. Jackson, what's happening, buddy? Do you see Aaron Jones being an asset rest of season with JJ Matt coming back in? I don't see him not being one. Like his usage, I think it absolutely shocked everybody this past week. Jordan Mason. Gonna be getting these Masons mixed up. 4 carries for 3 yards, only 1 pass attempt, and then you saw Aaron Jones coming off the IR with quite a bit more work. Again, didn't get much done. 5 carries, 15 attempts or 15 yards, but he had 4 passes, and that was kind of the deciding factor for me anyway coming into the draft season. Both those guys were going pretty close in ADP. I think it was like RB27 for Jones, RB32 for Mason. But I like the pass catchers. They offer much upside, and I only play in half or full PPR. So standard leagues, Jordan Mason might have a bit more appeal, but to me, I think Aaron Jones. They gave him a contract, or they gave him an extension this offseason. They want him built around there. I think he's a great release valve for JJ McCarthy, and I think he's healthy. We saw Carson Wentz hit IR, so they can't put anybody else out there. JJ McCarthy better be ready to roll. We still have so many question marks on him. We had 2 games and essentially like 1 good quarter from him, so I hope he comes out. It's not the easiest matchup though this week against the Lions. Matthias and Cam Scat talk over here. Tracy, welcome back. Yeah, Tyrone Tracy will be the most added player across most leagues. 10-team leagues, he definitely hit the waiver wire, and 12-team leagues, I've seen him in most of mine. So yeah, I'm dumping quite a bit on Tracy. The hard part is, this team continues to lose playmakers, and they've got one of the hardest, if not the hardest, schedule remaining for running backs. But when you got Jackson Dart, you got a chance, right? Everything comes in when you got him. Oh, damn, Javonte Williams has Indiana Jones, too. I mean, Lamar is Lamar. I think you can sell it on the hype of Lamar. Whether or not he's been going wild these last few weeks because he's been injured, but like there's a lot that sits on his name. Everybody still knows who Lamar is, what he can get done each and every week. And honestly, like Daniel Jones has been great this year. I believe he's still top 10, top 6 this year, but it hasn't been winning you weeks. And those first few weeks when he was pulling in those rushing touchdowns, that's when you were getting elite production from him. But since then, it's been more of like the low-end QB1 numbers that you're getting from him. He does get the Steelers this week, so not a bad bet, but when you got Jonathan Taylor scoring 3 touchdowns in multiple games, it's been hurting him. Going back for Daniel Jones, we got QB 10, 11, 4, 18, 26, and 11. Yeah, without those rushing touchdowns, it's kind of where you see him jump into those. The 3, 7, and 4, he had touchdowns in every one of those games on the ground. So if Jonathan Taylor keeps that up, I think it's going to kind of cap his ceiling to a top 6, top 12. It's a great quarterback to have, but it's easier to win a season when you've got somebody that's in the top 5. I think you're underestimating how low trade value. It's every league's different. Every single league is different. I am in QB leagues, one single QB leagues where nobody buys quarterbacks. Nobody wants. I mean, look at Joe Flacco. You picked him off the waiver wire for nothing, and he's returning top end pay. So I think it's all what kind of league you're in, who you play with, whether or not. Because I'm not willing to pay up for quarterbacks. Most of the time, I'll die with the ship. I'll go down with it rather than give up a heavy asset, as in a running back or a wide receiver or something like that. So yeah, every league's gonna be different. You're gonna have to check that out. But if you can get something big for quarterbacks, I'm all down to make it happen, because usually you can find a replacement. Sounds like you already have one with Drake May there. RGQ, the owner is loaded. He flexes RBs. RBs this year have been scarce. I think I'd interested in a league-winning QB. Absolutely. If he's feeling that cocky about his team, being able to flex running backs that consistently, yeah, all you have to do is just entice him a bit to hey, don't you want to push it over the edge? Don't you want a league-winning quarterback? A guy in Lamar, MVP candidate the last few years, absolutely crushing it, especially on a points-per-game basis. So, yeah, I'm definitely right there. All speculation. Yeah, I get you. Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones are league-winning quarterbacks. But they're not sexy, man. Those aren't the sexy league-winning quarterbacks. Right now, Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones, where you got them in drafts, absolutely crushing it. But at the end of the day, you go into a championship game, I think having Lamar at that quarterback spot over Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, it just looks so much better. It gives you that feel of a bit more security. Evan, what's happening, man? Appreciate you coming by. Need some trade help. We got half PPR on the clock. Had the worst of luck this year. Feel ya. Lost James Conner, Hampton, Eckler, Kendre, and now Scattaboo. Scatta bye-bye is what we're looking at. My RBs are now Vidal, and bam, do I trade Mark Andrews for Kareem Hunt? Yikes. Yikes. I would, just because I don't really see Mark Andrews as a piece you have to hold on to. Each and every week. He's a streamer. He just has the name attached to him. So at this point, I'm cool with that. Especially with Isaiah Pacheco. I think it was an MCL injury popped up today for him. Rashard Smith is still going to be in the mix, but Kareem Hunt, if he can slam in those touchdowns each and every week, I think he will give you a bit. But you're in a pickle there. Vidal might give you a little bit more range than Bam, but Trey Benson, he's coming back soon. And when we get Hampton back, you're going to be hurting. So I'd make some moves, shuffle it around. If you can get anything for a tight end, I'd absolutely love that. Or Mark Andrews for Tajay. Man. You got the talent of Spears, but then you got the crappy team. You got the great team with Hunt, but the mid-talent. I might go for Tajay Spears. Honestly, anybody who pulls the trigger on the Mark Andrews trade, I think you win. But Tajay Spears might have the higher ceiling. He has a chance to get the entire backfield to himself. I don't see Kareem Hunt that ever happen. We still have Breece Hall's trade rumors. Trade deadline, I believe, is next Tuesday or Wednesday at 4 o'clock. So we're hoping. We're hoping something fun happens. But yeah, I think I'd rather have Tajay Spears than Kareem Hunt. RGQ, another one. I mean, who's more likely to take points away from the quarterback, Henry or RB1 JT? Yeah, I feel you there. At this point, both of those guys, touchdown vultures down there at the end. They like to get pounded in, but honestly, the Colts, number one scoring offense right now. Even if JT's pounding them in, I still think you have an opportunity there with Daniel Jones. But I think on name value alone, you'll get more with Lamar than people, especially looking back the last few weeks of Daniel Jones. People are a little disappointed in what you have as far as looking at his overall finish. Also, it's casual work league. Yeah, go do it. Take advantage of those fools. The amount of casual leagues I like to join, just be a part of that because you can absolutely steal value left and right. So, yeah. You're supposed to flex RBs? Yes and no. I guess I get the sentiment he was implying that he's able to. Like most of my leagues are double flexes. If you can get 4 running backs in your starting lineup, you're doing pretty good. Just based on injuries, based on bye week, stuff like that. Not everybody has the luxury of being able to flex 4 RBs. Usually you see a wide receiver in the mix. And honestly, I like having, in my 2 flex, I like a running back and a wide receiver. Usually those wide receivers give you those higher ceilings, and those running backs gives you the nice floor. So if you're flexing one of those running backs down there, if you're putting in a Kamani Vidal as an RB3, that's when you sneak in these. I'm going to say Jameson Williams because that's the only name coming to mind, but the way you take advantage of a wide receiver like that is being able to fit him in there, but you can fit him in there confidently because the rest of your running backs make up for what he doesn't on those bad weeks. But then he also has those league-winning weeks. I guess week-winning weeks. A lot of W's. We're going to cut that out. You flex RBs for... Yeah, that's kind of where we're getting at. RBs for the floor, wide receivers for the ceiling. Again, that's why I absolutely love the double flex teams. I hate, even in a 12-team league, give me 2 flexes. Oh well, somebody might have to start some crap. When you get to the playoffs, it might get ugly, but that's the fun of it, right? Being able to shoot a shot, take a chance. Yes, you flex RBs. Thanks for saying. Yeah, again, the floor ceiling argument I think is where we're sitting with that one. It's not black and white, but only 1 to 2 team has decent enough RB3 to flex. Yeah, I totally get it. That is the hard part of the league to league. It's different. It's different across the board in all of them. There's some leagues I am playing 4 wide receivers every single week because I just do not have running back depth. I do not have running back skill on my team, and it's been hurting me. It's been hurting me. I'd rather have Daniel Jones and let the person stay with Lamar, and they're just saying, oh, of course, so would I. But we're trying to take advantage of the people that won't. You're trying to look for the people that play on name value, the people that play on recency bias. So that's why I think Lamar would be a great move if you make it happen. Outside of Tracy, who's another RB I could pick up off waivers? Looking at P. Ryan, Sampson, Corum, Ollie Gordon, Emmanuel Wilson. Who do you like the most out of those guys rest of the season? Sampson's intriguing. We saw Quinshon Judkins, it's a shoulder injury, I believe. But they're also going into a bye. Gives him an extra week to kind of recover, figure that out. But Sampson's going to be a player I'm picking up on Sunday. After the games have played, I can see who I can drop on my bench. Let me pick up Sampson there at the end of the night. So I don't have to, A, pick him up on waivers, and B, you always like to have running backs on your bench. As far as these plays right now, it might be P. Ryan. It might be P. Ryan. Emmanuel Wilson, they do keep putting in there, just giving him a little bit more work. As far as just the injury to Josh Jacobs, I think they're trying to make sure he can make it through the season. But when he's healthy, it's all Josh Gordon. So P. Ryan is cutting into Chase Brown's work, and this offense is scoring enough points that it might be enough to be passed around. So if you need a fill-in this week, P. Ryan might be your guy. Other running back waivers I've got listed. Tyrone Tracy, Tajay Spears, Bam Knight. Again, every league's going to be different here. Dylan Sampson, Samaje P. Ryan's up there. Tank Bigsby kind of falls in the same category as Dylan Sampson. Potentially plugging in as an injured guy, but on a bye week, so we're waiting to see that. And the rest of mine I have, it's like Isaiah Davis. You have Algier, Abdullah, Ford, Ollie Gordon. Most of those guys more feel like replacement players, not necessarily fill-ins to flex this week. So I think it might be P. Ryan's the best bet you're looking at if you don't get Tracy. Wilson, in my opinion, Jacobs looks like he's playing through an injury. He does, but I just don't know how much. Let me look at the splits. I don't remember the splits off the top of my head this past week, but we've seen Emmanuel Wilson have that backfield before. It's so bad. Maybe not bad, but just it's not great. It's not great out there. Emmanuel Wilson 6 for 61 this past week. He did get 4 targets, caught 3 of them. Josh Jacobs, are we in the injury report this week? Fingers crossed. Nope. Nothing. Still too early on a Tuesday to find out. But Josh Jacobs, it's the touchdowns he's stealing there, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I don't hate the call. I think as far as you're filling, it would be between him and Wilson. Corum, you're not playing. Ollie Gordon, I know he caught the touchdown this past week. He does get the goal line work, but we really betting on the Dolphins? We really betting on them? I don't want to. Outside of Waddle, of course, because Waddle's he's my boy. All right, so we got number 2 priority. So one of them should be gone. Expecting Tracy, but I need to pick up this week. Tracy, Bam Knight, Michael Carter. What's your order on these? It would just be Tracy and Bam Knight. Michael Carter got cut yesterday, so he's no longer on the team. So yeah, it'd be Bam Knight would be the number 1. Or I'm sorry, Tracy would be the number 1. Bam Knight would be the number 2. So it looks like you're probably getting Bam, because I don't think anybody's going to not use their number 1 priority on Tracy. Just he's going to be the lone guy in that backfield. Also, we drop in Ellick, Burden for Cup, Ridley, or keep the young guys, full PPR redraft, big play bonus. Yeah, I'd probably keep the younger guys. Oh man, Cup would be on the bottom of this list for me for sure. Burden, I think, might be on the top. I was a huge Burden guy through Dynasty season, going through the draft process, so might have a little bit of a bias there. I'm really excited for once he gets rocking and rolling. I think 2026 is going to be more on his ability. So yeah, so it's probably going to be Burden, the 2 Tennessee guys, and then Cup. I'd probably go Ridley over Ellick. Ellick and Manor has the bigger playability, and I know you got the big play bonus, but it being full PPR, they're paying Ridley so much money. He's going to get the targets if he comes back. Man. But like Cooper Kupp, heavily involved. I think he's number 2 in targets. I have no interest there. Give me AJ Barner behind him, who's 3rd in targets for the Seahawks. Kupp is merely out there as the grind guy. He's great in the run game, great at the blocking. I just don't think it's happening for him. RGQ missed the buy low on Saquon. Yeah, yep, you might have. You might have a small window, depending on how freaked out the manager is just with him going into the bye week with the injury. Maybe you can play on that a little bit, see if you can sneak him out of the owner. But I think after this one, it's been locked up and closed. Millie, what's happening, man? Good to see you back here. I just got James Cook for Pickens and Jalen Warren. Love that. Wide receivers are Lamb, Pickens, Abuka, Sutton, Golden, RB, Henry, Chase, K9, Tracy, and Jalen Warren's gone now. So I think you won. I think you absolutely crushed, especially having Lamb and Pickens. You know, go ahead and separate the two now that Lamb is officially back. James Cook has been just absolutely crushing it, giving his best Rico Dowdle impression this past week. Looking good. Touchdowns, there's no regression coming. The head coach the OC, Brady, keeps talking about getting Ray Davis more and more involved. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it happen. So, yeah, rolling out Lamb, Abuka, Sutton, and Golden, Henry, Chase, K9. I might sell Tracy, too. You've got pretty good running back depth if you're looking at Henry, Chase, K9. Talking about a little bit ago, Tracy might have one of the worst remaining schedules for a running back. And if somebody's hyping up on him right now, especially this Cam Scadaboo owner, you might be able to get something big in return. So overall, though, love the deal, love the trade. I'm always in favor of the 2 for 1s, getting the better player. I would trade Haskins or the Bears' backup running back for Lamar. Those type of players. Hey, man, that's about what I would pay for him too. I have no inkling to want to pay for a quarterback. If I missed out on him in the draft, learn to be better next year, but there's plenty of streamers. I believe streaming quarterbacks, you can average about QB7, QB8 each and every year if you take, one of the top 5 streamers. So, yeah, I'm not paying for Lamar. People do it. People pay on the name. People pay on the excitement. People pay on the hopes. As much as y'all don't want to, this is a male-dominated sport, fantasy football, and yet emotions drive 95% of this crap. All of the hype, the excitement, it's all emotion. And that's all you got to do is you got to mitigate the mistakes there. You got to lean into it and don't freak out. Don't buy it just on the name. I mean, look at Gadsden. There was no name for him, and all of a sudden he is the new hotness. Jackson, what's happening, buddy? How's Troy Franklin's value with him leading targets back-to-back weeks? It's definitely going up. I still won't have him ranked above Sutton. I think Sutton gives you a bit of a safer floor. Not that he's necessarily had a great one this year, but Troy Franklin, we've seen him come and go. Marvin Mims steps up every now and then. For whatever reason, they're trying to get Evan Ingram still involved in this offense. He's still soaking up some targets. So Franklin's going to have his volatility. I'd probably have him pegged as like a wide receiver 3 rest of the season. Somebody you're going to stick in your flex spot. He can give you a nice week-winning performance as he did this past week, the week before that. But I don't trust Bo Nix. I don't think Bo Nix is great. I think he's good. I think he's a good enough quarterback, but it hasn't been, amazing. Last 2 weeks for Franklin, 8 targets, 6 catches, 10 targets, 3 catches. Got 3 catches for 19 yards. That's a product of Bo Nix right there. So I guess that's why I'm not completely jumping into Troy Franklin. He's been making us a little bit of money this year. His props, there's some way to attack that. But as far as his fantasy value, I think he's going to be locked in as like a wide receiver 3 for me. But a trusted one. Wide receiver 3s, you can't trust those fools. So I think he might be one of them. RG, what's happening? We got Matt. This is a 10 team. Those guys are on a waiver. You tell me there's 9 QBs you take over Lamar the rest of the season. Yeah, that's kind of where that happens. Nothing a little social engineering can't help. Yeah, no, I feel you with that. I think there's like 5, 6 quarterbacks. 4. Actually, I'm trying to count how many quarterbacks I'd rather actually have over Lamar. I think the point he's trying to make is he's not paying for anything. He'll patch together a streaming quarterback group, make that happen. But not everybody's here. They're not on this stream. They're not doing a live stream on Waiver Wires midweek. Why? Because, they're just casual players, and that's who we're looking to take advantage of. Like I said, I've absolutely abused some of my league mates with some of the trades. Jackson in the chat actually might be one of them. That was his fault. Jack, feel free to pop it up here, buddy, but That was all you there, sending that trade just a few 2 minutes early. Nino, I agree with Bam Knight thing, but by the way, they picked up Carter back up today, so... Oh! Did not see that one. Appreciate the heads up before we just hammered the fact that he was cut. Yeah, Cardinals looks like it picked him back up. Why are they doing that to us? Now, was that a strategic move just based on the roster, or was that more so Trey Benson? Okay, Michael Carter returns to the practice squad. Yeah, that was the big storyline when he was coming out for Trey Benson a few weeks ago. He finally got signed. He was off the practice squad, but yeah, it looks like he's back on there as of today. I still want Bam Knight. They've been consistently using him, so I really like that. So I don't know if they'll get a run against Dallas. What kind of Dallas team are we looking at? I was so pumped for all the pieces in Dallas this past week. I thought it was going to be a shootout. Thought they had a chance to win it. No. It was ugly. It was ugly. So yeah, folks, take that back. Michael Carter's back on the team. But still, I think there's plenty of confidence in Bam Knight. Matthias and 9 QBs I would have over Jackson. Allen, yes. Herbert, yeah. Mahomes, yes. May, yes. I get a little cute with the Darnold, Jones, Love, Dak, Hurts. I'll put Hurts on this side. So yeah, 5 guys I'd have. I don't know if I'd want them over Lamar. I think I'd just have them in the same tier. Allen, Herbert, Mahomes, May, Lamar, Hurts. I think I'd have all of those guys in the same tier rest of the season. And then you've got your discount versions of this. You know, your Darnolds, your Jones, your Love, your Dak. Because, like, what has Love been? How great has Love been these past few weeks? He hasn't been great. Like, they cannot get that wide receiver room fully put together. Now, I'm a huge Christian Watson guy, and I think that what he could bring to this team as he gets healthier over the last few weeks, or these next few weeks, I think might help him. But like Jordan Love, he's been QB1, 17, 19, 6, 26, 13, 18. He may not necessarily lose you a week, but he's not winning you a week. And I think that's what you get. Lamar wins weeks. Allen wins weeks. Herbert has with this offensive line, the running that he and Mahomes are doing, they have that ability. May has that ability. But like, Love's not going to go in there each and every week win you this. You know, I just don't see that. Same thing with Daniel Jones. Sam Darnold. These are all players that are giving you good weeks, good overall on the year finishes, but like on a points per week basis, it's not as luxurious as it seems. You know, we talked about Daniel Jones. Come on, where's Sam? Sam D, I cannot find you. Come on, fool. There he is. Oh, he's playing Sunday night against Washington. Yeah, Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold. We got QB 24. I'm sorry. 9, 2, 18, 10, 21, 31. Again, he's got some good weeks in there, but it's not consistent. You know, there are weeks that you'll probably lose because he didn't give you a great week. May not be exactly his fault that you lost. Maybe it's because Bijan went out there and crapped the bed. But I see him kind of in that group with those second half that you got there. I mean, most of those I'd be okay with having if it didn't have Lamar. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be okay with it. But if you just say, hey, which one would you rather have? Lamar's going to be in that group with the other 5. Same, and high expectations for the Broncos-Cowboys game. It's a heartbreaker. Freaking heartbreaker. Ted over Pickens rest of season. Well, I would have Pickens over Ted rest of season. I think Pickens has just that league winning... I gotta quit saying week winning ability. I don't think Tet does. Just as far as how the offense functions, they want to run the ball. It is still Bryce Young. But Jackson, if you're in a keeper league, I like Tet over Pickens because yeah, Tet has a sweet keeper ability that in that league you're talking about there. But Pickens, I don't see Tet having a 30-point week. Like, can he get multiple touchdowns and over 100 yards? Maybe once. I don't know if he'll do it multiple times this year though. But all right, folks. Let me get your. This is my little brother. If you guys haven't picked up, let me get y'all's input on this. We're Eastern time zone. It was like 3:30. So Tet is actively playing. George Pickens has not played. He sends me a trade. Tet for Pickens, easy swap. We're playing against each other. I pushed the trade through immediately because I realized George Pickens hasn't played yet, and then he would come to my team. Had he waited till after kickoff, we both would have been able to play the players, and then they would have traded. He didn't. So Pickens came over to my team. Tet went over to his, but I still get credit for Tet's points. And somebody started screaming collusion. I mean, come on. Come on. I can't collude with myself there. Jack, I feel you. You got hosed a little bit, buddy, but that might have just been an excitement oversight. 20 more minutes, and you would have gotten Pickens points. Either way, still crushed him, so. Think it's a moot point at this point, bud. I have $80 fab. How much should I spend on Tracy in the waivers? Really need a running back. As Bill is he's letting everybody down. We had week 5, but that's it. No more Bill. It has not been pretty. Look, if you really need a running back, you have to get something to play. Go aggressive. Get really aggressive with it. But oh man, rest of the season, it is a rough schedule. I'd probably go like 50ish%. So do this first, there, Jones. Check out your other teams that are really running back needy. Look at how much fab they have. Check out what they're working with. If they're only rocking 50 or less fab, then obviously you don't need to be dropping the bank. Maybe aim for like 90% of whatever the highest person's fab's left. If there's people that have more than you that are probably going to be going after it, you might have to get aggressive into that 60-ish range. But yeah, what else are you breaking the bank for? Don't spend it all. Make sure you keep about $5 going into the playoffs. I like to be able to have those dollar bids going into some of these like defense pickups if you play in a defense league, or tight end swap outs, quarterback swap outs if you're streaming that. So I wouldn't drop everything, but if you really need to start this week, you're going to have to pull the trigger. I understand your point, Matt. But as for me, Lamar owners trying to talk myself into something instead of dropping him. Yeah, no. Yeah, definitely don't drop him. Definitely don't drop him. Anything that person's telling you, it's probably because he wants him. The guy who has Lamar or Allen, right odds. Guy who has Lamar or Allen, right odds are they missed one of those first two picks. They messed up 2 picks, and the team is desperate, and they have a QB they're willing to start if Lamar is traded. Yeah, I get that. Osiris, what happened, man? Huge question, folks. Stand back. We got a big question here. We're digging into it. 2-6. We can still make the playoffs. We'll still make it. Hold tight. RBs are Judkins, Javonte, and Charbonnet. Wide receivers are JSN, Waddle, DK, Debo, DJ Moore, and Juwan Jennings. All right, so we're solid at wide receiver. We're good there. Running back needs a little TLC, especially this week. You've got Javonte and starting Charbonnet, which don't even get me started. And don't even get me started on the Charbonnet, Ken Walker back and forth. It's hurting so many of my teams. I've got way too much Ken Walker this year, and I'm too stubborn to move on. Do I drop all my fab on Tyrone Tracy, then package a wide receiver and Sharp for an insane asset like Jamar, Amon-Ra? Or do I just work with what I got? If you start Sharp the next 2 weeks because of buys. Honestly, I might package Tracy. I don't know how much you're really going to get for Charbonnet. There's believers on both sides. People that are just see it as an annoying backfield might not want it. But I wouldn't drop all your fab. I'd drop a good chunk of the fab. A good percentage depending on how aggressive people are looking for them. What other wide receivers you have? Debo. Maybe go Debo. Because I don't know how much you're actually getting for DJ Moore or Juwan Jennings, but if you can package together Tyrone Tracy and Debo to go get somebody, I think that might be a little closer to what you're looking for. Let me pull up my rest of season rankings. Maybe we can find a wide receiver in that range for you. All right, rest of season rankings. If you guys are looking for them on Fantasy Pros, one of the rankers over there, you can go check my stuff out over there. Rome Odunze kind of had a bounce back week. Too bad if you could do DJ Moore and Tyrone Tracy, go get Rome Odunze. I really like that. Zay Flowers is somebody I'd be willing to go after if you could do a package trade there. AJ Brown's kind of bounced back, so that might not be an option. Do you go after Brian Thomas Jr.? Who's got the stones to do it? I don't. I have very little Brian Thomas Jr. I intended to have more, but it didn't work out that way in a lot of my drafts. But I also haven't been trading for him. I'm a little nervous, a little scared to do that. But yeah, I would definitely try to package up to, even if you're not selling Charbonnet, you keep Charbonnet, sell Tracy, just because the value on Tracy is going to be a lot higher than Charb. Nino. All right, we got Swift and JCM for Judkins, or any other running back names. My team is pretty deep, so kind of looking to upgrade. Yeah, absolutely. If you got some depth, start trading up, valuing up some of those pieces, because then you can load your backfield with all those other running backs that inevitably start playing more and more. If you can pull that off, I love that. Swift for JCM, I really like that. I know Swift has been doing well, but does it keep up? Does Mononga cut out more? Do they start passing the ball a bit more? I'm not sure, but I really like just Judkins' rest of season. A little banged up right now, going into his bye week. He should continue to bring us, return on 80% of his games rest of season. So it's a great package, and if JCM has any value, any trade value at all, go take advantage of it. He's sitting on quite a few of my dynasty teams. I can't even get rid of him right now. All right, we got RG coming here. Reason I'm having a problem is because I only have 4 bench spots. As a Pats fan, I'm riding with May rest of season, so I have no clue what to do with Lamar. That's rough. And that also might kind of gives a little bit more leverage to the other players. Not everybody can hold on to 2 quarterbacks, and in this league, I wouldn't. I think holding 2 quarterbacks is just a deficit to what you're doing to your bench. With that being said, though, you can't drop Lamar. You cannot drop May, obviously. You cannot drop these 2, so you might not get quite the value you could in some leagues, or that you think you should, but definitely trade out of them. You need to fill those other 4 bench spots with other pieces as we get deeper and deeper into the season. So, yeah, you might not return. I think you might return a little closer to what Dyson was talking about, how not everybody's going to pay for it. And in those leagues, yeah, go attack the guy that has just 1 quarterback and who's streaming there. All right, Nino. Oh, yeah, what else you got, bud? We got Dak, HN, Brees, Swift, JCM, Spears, Sharp, and Brashard. Got Amon-Ra, Rice, Tez, and Kittle. Oh, buddy, yeah. Let's start doing some little reducing there. Opening up some bench spots. Guys I'd be willing to move. It's really everything past Brees with the running back. Swift, JCM, Spears, Sharp, Smith. I don't mind moving any of those, packaging those. And then for your wide receivers, Amon-Ra and Rice. The other 2 can be up for sale. I like Tet rest receives, and I really like the amount of work he's getting involved in. Just the sheer targets is amazing. Had him in a lot of my leagues. I really was hopeful. May not be the best payout, but I mean, we got stats dropping all over fantasy Twitter right now. We know what these rookies do in the second half of the season, and yeah, that's right. I smell some championships coming on the back of some rookies. So not necessarily trying to get rid of them, but both those players I'm willing to move on from as far as your wide receivers go. Go package something up if you're looking for, Zay Flowers, George Pickens, Devonta Smith. I like rest of season. Might be climbing a little high in these ranks, but what do you think? Like a Tet and a Swift? Might be able to get something pretty nice. James Cook, I'd be willing to go after. Jalen Warren, Javonte Williams. I've got Quinshon Judkins at 14 in my running back rest of the season. Brees Hall, yeah, I like him. Bucky Irving. Maybe you can go after the Bucky Irving owner, maybe trade in one of those, but package something up, group them together, look for some of those players that you can really open it up. Would you even draft DJ Moore? Whoever told you to draft DJ Moore just unfriended me. At the same time, though, at what point do you draft these players? Like, I had a handful of players on my do not draft. Cooper Kupp was one of them. But how far do they fall before it just seems absolutely ridiculous to not draft them? At this point, you're kind of... Some teams are stuck with DJ Moore, unless you're dropping him, because I don't know how much value you have to trade him. But like, if DJ Moore was on the clock in draft season, and it was either him or Rashid Shaheed, there's no way you're telling me you're taking Rashid Shaheed. Like, the contract DJ is at, the new play caller, the elevated offense, you had to take the shot. So I'm not advocating drafting DJ Moore, but at a certain point, these players are going to fall to where it's still a value, even if they don't give you anything. RG, what do we got? I guess I'll just send out offers and hope others will need quarterbacks later if they don't accept. Yeah, I'm sure you can find something done. You'll find something, you'll pull it off. There'll be a player that starts thinking, Lamar's coming back this week. The team's looking a lot better because the defense did look a lot better. So maybe there's a little bit of hope and excitement with that one. But again, don't drop them. You can figure it out. I guarantee it. You'll be able to make it happen. Chile! What's up, Chill? What's up? It's the Vikings defense. Is the Vikings defense a dynasty hold? Do they just have a lot of injuries, or is the offense been screwing them, or just bad? Someone dropped the Colts. Rumor they're looking to trade for a defensive superstar. Hey. Yeah, don't get my hopes up, man. As a Colts fan, I don't know if it's going to happen. They sure should have traded for Greg Newsome from the Browns. I can't believe that happened and they weren't after it. Yeah, there's rumors that we might go after an edge. Trey Hendrickson being injured this week with a hip injury kind of might wipe him off of the trade board. I guess this is different. I've only ever played one Dynasty League with defenses, and it blew my mind of how to navigate through that. I don't think I would drop it. Like, this defense is still, it's nasty. Brian Flores, like, he's good at his job. He's good at getting pressure. I do think the offense isn't helping. They're not doing any favors to the defense right now. Injuries are plaguing them. I can't see myself dropping them. I guess, is there a limit to how many defenses you can hold? Do you have another defense? Because I'd like to pick up the Colts too. Colts may not be a top 10 like elite defense, but they're one of those teams that they find a way to get turnovers. They find a way to, essentially the way the Jags are playing. The Jags, they don't have an elite defense this year, but they're getting turnovers. They're winning that battle, and the Colts have a lot of seasons where that pulls off. So I don't mind going after that. Again, I don't have a lot of experience with defense and Dynasty, but if I had the Colts and the Vikings, I think I could make do and head my way to a championship. The defensive superstar. I need to get rid of Nico plus QJ or Allen. What would you be comfortable taking? So I'd want to package QJ. I know Allen's been streaky as well, but I have way more confidence in Allen, just as far as giving you a better floor. We saw what happened to QJ this past week. Nico and Allen, what could you trade up to get? A lot of it's going to be how people view Nico. I'd take Devontae Adams. If you can trade those two for Devontae Adams, I'd be willing to take that. Rashee Rice, you're not getting him out of anybody's hands right now. Maybe Drake London as a possibility. Just he's had some roller coaster weeks. It's been a little up, a little down. And I don't think you're getting any of the top guys, whether it be JSN, Amon-Ra, Puka, Jamar Chase, CD Lamb, Jefferson. I'd love to have any of those six, but I doubt you're able to get that pulled off. Nico's trade value is kind of hampered a bit. Ooh, gross. So I got AJ Brown at 17 rest of the season, Garrett Wilson at 18, George Pickens at 15. But I don't know if you'd have to use QJ. You might have to. I don't know if you could do a straight up Nico for those guys, but I guess anyone in that range, that kind of low end wide receiver 1, high end wide receiver 2. I kind of just want to get out of the Nico business this year. I fortunately wasn't able to draft him in many leagues. He got scooped up quite a bit, so I haven't had to go through that plague of an issue. But QJ is a player. I'd Gadsden over QJ. I'd go if I'm trading a player like trading QJ away, I'd trade him straight up for Gadsden at this point. I just like the opportunity of being able to play that in my tight end spot. But yeah, one of those players. Devontae Adams might be the one. Might be able to get that done. He's not as apparent to some players just because he is the number 2 on the team. Chill. Have Lions and Vikings right now. What's trade look like? Like, can you trade? Obviously you can trade the defenses, but like, what does that usually get back? Like, if you were to trade a good defense, like, I don't know, could you get a first round pick for a defense? I doubt it. I'm sure it'd be somewhere in the third, maybe a 2/3 or a third and a second. But yeah, I'd pick up the Colts defense because anyway in Dynasty, if you got a deep enough bench, I like to hoard players. I like to put a pinch on other players to make a move. So I don't know if dropping would be, but Lions and Vikings, nice little duo you got there. Sadly, they had trash games of recent. Yeah, that's the hard part, trying to sell these guys. But if you're giving up 2 for 1, sometimes that's enticing enough when these teams are hurting so bad. 7 of 10 teams have backup quarterbacks. Some are holding hurt quarterbacks. And what? Get out of here, dude! I saw Jake Browning on a superflex superflex team in one of my leagues the other day. I was like, "What are you doing? You have 8 bench spots. You'd be loading up with any other quarterbacks or mainly the running backs." And like, she's still holding on to freaking Jake Browning. Freaking wild. Yeah, AR's on IR. He broke his freaking eye. That's absolutely wild. And that's the other hard thing with work leagues. Yeah, you can usually abuse them and take advantage of some things, but at the other time, they're not as aggressive. They don't care as much, and they're willing to go down with the ship. They're willing to be wrong if it keeps you from getting better. So that's a tough one to be in. What's cooler than cool? Ice cold. No, it's bad. It's bad, Brian. We're not doing those jokes. Jones, what's happening? In a 12-team league, there are 6 that have 100 fab. One has 80 fab. One is 70, and the last one is 34. I think this goes back to our Ice Cold. Where you at? Yeah, I got 80 fab. Looking to spend on Tracy. I mean, it looks like we've had some great players hit the waiver wire. So the fact that you have 6 teams, half the league hasn't even spent $1 in fab. You might be able to get away with Tracy in somewhere in that 40 range. Like, you want to spend a good amount just to make sure you lock him in. I doubt we're going to have... God, Matthias. I doubt you... Oh, man. Yeah, probably somewhere in that 40 range. Make sure you're up there, but it doesn't look like this league dumps out fab. So, yeah, I think you can get away with less than 50, maybe above 40. Right in there would probably be that sweet spot. I would draft my 5th RB. Look, where those wide receivers that we're talking about were going, you'd be drafting like your 6th running back at that point. But I get what you're saying. But ideally, it doesn't always work out in every league. So just trying to sit on the post there, ride the fence. Brian Flores' defense are always well coached. Yeah, back to the dynasty defense question. I like Brian Flores there, and it doesn't look like he's getting many head coaching jobs going forward. So he might just be locked in with KOC for a good while, which I don't think is bad for either one of them. Already found a trade that you said about to send Swift and Tet for James Cook and Franklin. Okay, even without Franklin, I like that quite a bit. I like the trade, but you toss in Franklin, a nice little flex play to get you through the bye weeks. Absolutely love that. Nice job getting trades done over here while we're walking the wire. Nice, Nino, crushing it over there. Oh, lost, scatter, bye-bye. Got CMC, Aaron Jones, Woody Marks. Should I pick up Tracy or trade Justin Jefferson for Javonte and Tet? I don't think I do it. Minnesota has one of the best wide receiver rest of season schedules. Justin Jefferson is going to continue to, I know it hasn't been as great as maybe we all remember, but honestly, his points per game, he's just below. His targets per route run, just below what we saw last year. So I would do it. I'd pick up Tracy. And look, I've been kind of saying it this whole show, I'd flip Tracy. Like, if I can pick him up and there's enough excitement, you see enough bids on him, I 100% would flip him. Tet, I like him, but he doesn't give me a ceiling, or a ceiling that I would want for my number 1. And I don't know what your wide receivers look like, but imagine Justin Jefferson's far and away your best wide receiver. So I wouldn't do it. Not saying it's a bad call, but I think I would try and maneuver without giving up Justin Jefferson, especially at this point in the season. Alrighty, Mr. Least. Got more Nico talk. Oh, I love it. Trade Nico, Olave, and ETN for Jamar Chase and Devonta Smith. Yeah, I would do it. I 100% would do it, especially in a PPR league. Nico does not seem to be a guy that you're loving for PPR. Olave, I think his value is holding on based on the catches, the targets. He's number 2 in targets for the entire season, which is great. But he's about to get a quarterback change too. Tyler Shuck, I think it's the first 42-year-old rookie quarterback to start. I'm kidding. It's not that old, but he's old as crap, man. But Jamar Chase, Devonta Smith, I like them rest of the season. Eagles are also up there for one of the better schedules rest of the season. So I 100% crush it, get it done. ETN, I know he's been doing good, but I'm trying to get Tootin everywhere. I think there could be more work to be had for the other players there. Lions or Seahawks rest of the season. Let me see. I think we're going Lions. Where are the Seahawks? Where are they at? I can't even find them on the list here. Ooh, maybe we take that back. Maybe yeah. Give me the Seahawks. They do play Indy in the playoffs, the first week of the playoffs, but they play Carolina in the championship. Leading up to those games with Indy, they got Washington, Arizona, the Rams, Tennessee, Minnesota, Atlanta. You've got some really enticing games in there. At Seahawks, that defense has been built well. I really like what they have over there. Not to take anything from the Lions, they're good as well, but the Lions, they've got Philly, Green Bay, Dallas on that list, Minnesota twice, the Rams, Pittsburgh. Yeah, give me the Seahawks. I think you have more upside for some wild shenanigans. RG, New England defense is a hold. We're trading for Myles Garrett. Dude, do it. Do it. I swear. I've been so excited to root for, as a Colts fan, I hate the Patriots. Look, and you might say it's overreaction, Brian. No, it's not. I had to watch Peyton Manning get one Super Bowl across his many, many years because Brady kept coming in there and ruining the parade. Of course I'm going to hate the Patriots. But they've had to eat their humble pie the last half decade. I've enjoyed it. And now all of a sudden they've got Drake May, the second coming of Brady, but the Brady with wheels, potentially. And then if you add Myles Garrett to that defense, it's going to be hard to root for that team or be happy for that team anymore. So, I hope not. Send him over to Indy. Send him to Indy. Jonathan, my RBs are Cook, Jacobs, Sharp, Mason, Benson, and Gainwell for return yard points. Ooh, I do love leagues that add fun little caveats like that. Return yards, special teams touchdowns. I think always should be turned on. How much fab would you spend on Tracy and who to drop? What else you have in my league? Counts, return yards. Yeah, love that. Love that. Yeah, I'd spend up on Tracy. Kind of 40 to 60% of your fab on Tracy, depending on what your league looks like, how much they spend. We got a guy that was just talking about it. Half the league hasn't even spent $1 of fab, so I wouldn't go that crazy at that point. But yeah, definitely want to drop some coin. Give me a list of those players that you might be dropping instead. All right, folks, we're going to see if we can blow through these a little faster. I've only got a few minutes left, but we're going to see if we can finish out this chat. Sadly, drafted Nico in second round. It's going to be hurt. It's going to hurt you, but don't worry. We're going to come back from it. Use my first priority waiver claim to get Tyrone Tracy. I don't have scat. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely go get him. There's not very many players I doubt that we're going to see the rest of the season that are going to be worth really spending up on, and a starting running back is going to be one. No, don't wait. Last thing you want to do is be sitting there in week 12, still wishing you had a running back and still having that first priority. Go ahead and use it. Use it up. I love it. 7-1 record, 12-team PPR. Yeah, no. Spin it, man. Load it up and then flip him. Can you trade priority waivers in those leagues? I haven't played one in a while. It'd be pretty cool if you could. Team, we got Lamar, love it. JT, love it. Kyron, nice. Jamar, oh my goodness. Don't let Matthiasen say you get DJ Moore in there. He's going to give you a hard time. Sharp, Tajay, Trey Benson. Yeah, you're looking good. Yeah, 100%. I've been kind of saying that all day. Watch, it's going to bite me in the back end next week when everybody's like, Brian, why'd you tell us to trade Tracy? Tracy just went off for 30 points. Doubt it, but yeah, I like the idea of trading Tracy, just getting out, moving laterally to make sure that you don't lose. You may not win, but I don't think you'd lose if you trade him away. My league counts, yeah, we love that. First waiver claim is hard to come by in this league. I hate to use it if Tracy. I mean, how many other players were going in week 9? How many players have you seen that is worth a first priority league? So yeah, that's kind of where I sit. And as long as you have your handcuffs, you won't need to really blow that first waiver priority. There's not going to be a lot of league-winning guys left on there outside of handcuffs, like a Tyler Algier or stuff like that. What's worse, an 8-team league or a dynasty league with defenses? Hey, 8-team leagues, you can get it right. If you get the scoring settings right and the roster settings, 8-team leagues are dope. 8-team league I just joined this year. It's a 3-quarterback league. You start 2 QBs and it's a super flex. You cannot do that kind of roster construction in a 10-team league. But an 8-team league, you can pull it off. Makes it really fun. Again, I don't hate on league sizes. As long as you do the settings correctly, I think any league size works well, especially with your format and stuff like that. 8-team, at least there's movement and dynasty. It's true too. Pick 2, DJ Moore, Travis Hunter, Dobbs, Myers, ETN, or Trey Tucker, PPR. Also Rams or Chargers DT this week. Trying to look at it. Don't remember off the top of my head what these teams are looking at. Shoot. Almost said it. Didn't say it, though. We're good. Rams playing the Saints. Yeah, give me the Rams. Pick 2. God, we're going to have to go back to Travis Hunter. It was a lot of garbage time in that blow-up game before their bye week, but you have to try. There was, I mean, I don't know how true they are. We're just spreading rumors right now, but Brian Thomas Jr.'s name was floating around for trade rumors, so probably not going to happen. Ridiculous, but give me Travis Hunter and Myers. I don't know. Oh my God, maybe not. I'm just trying to think that Raiders offense might get better getting Brock Bowers back, Jacoby Myers. It might be ETN and Travis Hunter, and that just makes me feel wrong. come back on the live show on Sunday morning. We might have some more information to help you out a little bit more. Entire work league or sports guys, anyone viable is going off the waiver wire. Yeah, waiver wire is based on standings. Hard to stay. Yeah, get in that fab league, man. Get yourself some fab. It help you yourself out. Sorry, Lions or Seattle defense. This is the rest of the season. I think I want Seattle. Damn, do I just straight up drop QJ for Tracy? I don't want to drop QJ. There is still value to be had there, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes. Seattle is ranked 3 right now. Love it. Maybe Lamar and Tracy for an RB. Might have a couple of ringed. Yeah, I like that. You were trying to get rid of Lamar, package him up with Tracy. I'd do it. Tracy or Vidal instead of QJ or Allen. Probably Vidal's going to be better in the short term, but as soon as he loses his job back to Hampton, but also we don't know when that is. They might be trying to protect the first round pick a little bit more. I'd be dropping QJ out of the 2 though, and it's kind of a coin flip whether or not you need the short term or the long term. Congrats, Chase, on your 18th. I highly recommend persuading your commissioner to switch to a fab league. Yeah. Waiver priority, it's completely unfair, especially at the beginning of the season. You could have a juggernaut of a team, but if you just happen to lose, you could get first priority, and that's just not fair to anybody. So, what's up, man? Ben's sitting on waivers. How much fab for him? I guess how long has he been sitting on waivers? If he's been sitting on this long, I don't think you have to drop that much money on him because we're not getting reports that he's coming back this week. But pick him up, pick him up, pick him up. Coming back at me again. I don't like that. Drop Chuba or QJ. Oh, God. I think it's going to be QJ. Just because running backs are not... They're not out there a lot, even though they came out and said that Rico should be getting the lion's share of it, or the Panther share, going forward. Yeah, it's harder to drop Chuba. QJ is I could fight the fact to drop him. Go Colts. Yeah, let's go, buddy. Let's go, Indy. I mean, it's been a hard last few years, so I'm finally being able to root it. Hampton's still in a boot week 8. Yeah, that's... It's been an hour. Time's up. Thanks for the help there, buddy. That is it, folks. We are going to shut it down, rock and roll, get out of here. I appreciate every single one of you hopping in the chat. Like, subscribe if you aren't already. I'm here every single Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern, going for a hard hour, doing the walk in the wire, talking these trade talks, filling out this chat, doing all the great stuff. Looking for more of me, I got another page. It's Too Much Fantasy Football, the YouTube page over there. We got the podcast coming out everywhere, Spotify, Apple, all that great stuff. That's it. That's all I got, folks. That's it. We'll see you Sunday on the live stream right here on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. You'll see me. You'll see Wishlist. You'll see Kyle and Amber. It's a great time. Head on over there. But if not, hit us up in the comments. Any questions you got. But otherwise, it's @toomuch_Brian on Twitter. I'll see y'all next week.